An average of 525 domestic abuse victims are helped each day in Hawaii, according to the National Census of Domestic Violence Services. Some receive counseling, shelter, others just legal support. One state lawmaker met with victims of domestic violence to see what else can be done. KITV4 News This Morning's Kenny Choi reports.
As victims of domestic violence, Maria Steik and other advocates testified before Representative John Mizuno, asking for tougher laws to protect victims of domestic abuse.
They need to be implemented, and they should have already been implemented. They've already should have been in effect.
One of the ideas being discussed is establishing a domestic violence court within the family court system.
If there is a case with a domestic violence history, it would be heard exclusively by a designated judge with designated staff, people who are completely educated, who are knowledgeable and up to date, like on everything having to deal with domestic violence.
Mizuno also wants to create a special task force that would help lawmakers write better policies regarding domestic violence. So right now there's no special court for domestic violence cases?
No, and that's one of the biggest problems that I've brought before the legislature in the past few years, is that right now we have kind of a one-size-fits-all treatment of custody and visitation cases.
On any given day in Hawaii, 253 domestic violence victims find refuge in emergency shelters or transitional housing, according to the National Census of Domestic Violence Services. To help these victims, advocates want lawmakers to further strengthen the laws already in place.
Hawaii has some of the best statutes for domestic violence in the nation, but the problem is that they're not being applied, maintained, enforced.
Kenny Choi, KITV4 News.
In a 24-hour survey conducted by the National Network to End Domestic Violence, 3 hotline calls were received every hour in Hawaii by a domestic violence program.